Another revisit to something that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Artists leaving Spotify and what that kind of means for Spotify, and if it's harder as an artist or as a band to not go through Spotify. And we got a comment on our YouTube from a username. I'm gonna probably not pronounce this properly. It's basically Nifty, but NIHFTTYY. Shout out Nifty. So essentially, Nifty says that they don't think that it's actually harder to go against Spotify. It just means that you're just kissing goodbye to that avenue of revenue from streaming, right? If Spotify pays around $3,000 to $5,000 per million streams, and then you take out label fees, then you take out the cuts that anyone who helped you produce the song would take, you can get down to about $250 per million streams for some people, obviously pending their label splits and stuff like that. And then if your label has also like given you in advance money that you earn, then has to go back to the label. What Nifty kind of outlines is that like if you didn't go through Spotify, if you were to go to say Bandcamp or selling directly at $250 per million streams, like if you're selling vinyls or physicals or on Bandcamp selling downloads, you have to sell anywhere near as much because you're getting a way higher split out of that to make that equivalent amount of money. What Nifty obviously does point out is that like, yeah, that doesn't mean you're actually making a living. It's just that if you're looking at Spotify as you might not be taking that much out as just the average artist.
It is a risk though, because I feel like part of the listener experience at the moment is your day-to-day out and about everyday music listening. You think about when you're at work, when you're at the gym, when you're in the car, all you're doing is listening through either Spotify or Apple Music. That accessibility disappears straight away. I do still feel like you're limiting the sort of ability to reach a broader market. You might be really popular in a really niche market, but we listen to music hours and hours every day. I don't have Bandcamp. I don't have SoundCloud. I don't have anything like that on my phone. Spotify would take up, I reckon, 6 to 8 hours of my listening time. We buy records, obviously, and that's one avenue, but I don't know. I still feel like it's a bit of a risk for bands.
What I think is the biggest risk for bands is more than all of those things, I think, is the algorithmic discovery. Even though often people complain that they get put into kind of like this, it pigeonholes them into a one genre or one sound or whatever. I think it does do well to say like, hey, here's something else you might like to listen to. We're only going to try and discover bands non-algorithmically. I don't think it's that easy to do anymore.
It's not. The way I used to do it before the Spotify algorithm and Smart Shuffle is you'd go fans also listen to, and you just have a whole page of bands and you just one by one click through them. Yeah. On iTunes back in the day.
The two ways that I used to do a lot of my discovery are gone. So, well, not gone, but severely limited. You used to get like a Scene Star or like Street Press like that, where they'd just be like, hey, this is the list of albums that are coming out this month. And you'd go maybe on iTunes or whatever and listen to like the 15-second like samples, and you'd be like, do I like this? Do I like this? Do I like this? That and the blog, just the music blog. Like we both used to work for a music blog, and the sheer amount of music that we would listen to then try and give out like our personal recommendations as writers into like out to the people. I think there's not many blogs that are doing that now. There's really niche ones, and I think if you find someone who has a similar taste to you, that can be amazing because you can kind of like, that's a curation feed. But I think it's just, there's not that many it's certainly not as many as there were even 10 years ago.
Gone are the days of like music magazines as well.
Yeah.
Like I remember religiously reading Blunt magazine.
Yeah.
And that had artist interviews. It had posters, which I'd hang up on my wall. Like it was a whole experience. They'd come with little compilation CDs. I don't know. I kind of miss it.
Let's pick a month in the future. And we say for this entire month, we can only find new music like offline or like not via our algorithms.